audiences through the years, I've noticed they all react differently. I mean, try to compare Japan to Buenos Aires. You know? But what I also noticed is they're all enjoying the show just in their own way. So America is so large, it has micro cultures too. And I mean, compare the audiences from Florida to Texas. They just respond differently, but they all are enjoying it in their own way. So of course the audience's energy is definitely going to affect you, but I try to transcend that because I know they're just enjoying it in their own way, although they may not be like Buenos Aires.
I'm so wonderfully traumatized by walking on stage that all I can do is just sort of pull myself together and enjoy the moment and connect with individual people that I see in the audience. I hate the idea that I might at some point in my life generalize, when I walk on stage in Osaka and say, well, this is the way they're going to be, so I'm going to behave differently than my natural behavior, because I just want to be natural. I just want to be Joe when I walk out on stage and give everybody everything I have. We were in Europe on the Extremist tour last century, and it was winter time, and we were playing in Oslo, I remember, and it was such a psychedelic kind of dreamy show for some reason, I thought, and I wondered why the audience was not really on their feet and screaming all the time. It was, when you crisscross bouncing around Europe, sometimes you play in Madrid and it's nuts, and then you go somewhere else and it's not, and you're wondering did I do something wrong? Am I wearing the wrong shirt, or what's going on? But it's just the way people are on that particular day, that evening, and you can't let it affect your performance. But I do remember thinking, boy, that was a weird show, and it felt very internal because I wasn't getting a lot of external feedback, so I was deep in myself, right? Anyway, 2 weeks later, we're in the UK, and back in those days when you're playing UK dates, they would collect your fan mail, the British Postal Service, and deliver it to you backstage. I don't know if you had experienced this, Steve, but so backstage before the show, and I get this pile of mail that's come from everybody in Europe that the Postal Service has been so nice to collect and give to me. So I'm going through the mail, and there's this amazing letter from a fan who was at the show in Oslo a few weeks earlier. And it is the most beautiful description of a show that I ever read. And I thought that was the show, that I thought they weren't present, that they weren't there, really getting everything. And that person, in a couple of pages, had written this beautiful description of every song and everything that I played. And so I made a mental note: never generalize, about the audience. Just give it all you got, as much as you can, and even if you're petrified like me.
Great story.
I just want to say that it is really cool to think about getting physical fan mail, and I am now experiencing a sense of loss that I never had, because that is so much more connective than a comment underneath a YouTube video or something. That's beautiful, honestly. Yeah, very cool.